upon hearing the news this weekend. To put it mildly, I was devastated. I had already well realized that this weekend was the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. Well, it seems that I was not the only one conscious of it. It seems that something utterly horrid was planned to commemorate. While this horror is even barbarically worse than that 50 years ago, this appalling attack sent me back 50 years. Sometimes no words can suffice to address the realities of the world. This current situation, as with the situation 50 years ago, is such a reality. No words can suffice. That said, I am going to share with you here the words I wrote 50 years ago. I was 8 years old and quite devastated then. I am here now, back to the distraught, emotional place, and perhaps even more so, where I was 50 years ago. These are the words that then 8-year-old little me put to pen as a way to try and express as best possible what I was then and again am now feeling and thinking. Open Your Hearts, Open Your Eyes by Andy Mars. A few weeks after turning 8 years old, written in reaction to the Yom Kippur War of October 6th, 1973. Can barely speak, so full of tears, not starting out the best of years. It started out just fine last week, but of today don't want to speak. But speak of it I think I may, to not forget this hateful day. As a good day it started out, but now I just so want to shout. But with what words, what should I say? I doubt that I can well convey. My heart's pounding, it's filled with fears, my face all wet, eyes filled with tears. My heart it is feeling empty, my stomach too is not hungry. Easy fasting, first year I tried, thinking too much of those who died. I'm still wearing my New Year's suit, don't want to change, sitting here mute. I want to change, not what I wear, but want to change how people care. Why can't people just get along? Such disrespect, it is so wrong. I think about Munich last year, and add to that this current fear. For this morning I won't forget, it hurts me so, I'm so upset. Going to shul, because we are Jews, all in the car, hearing the news. Could not believe what we had heard, it could not be, it was absurd. Even soldiers were praying hard when the Arabs caught us off guard. Doubly holy, most special day, as Jews we were trying to pray. It's Yom Kippur, also Shabbat, thinking of God, not being shot. Caught us off guard, they hit us bad. Where will this lead? It is quite sad. Arab nations, they've joined as one. They're powerful. We could be done. They have many and we have few. So outnumbered, what can we do? Moshe Dayan, Golda Meir, how will you lead us through this fear? O one-eyed man, defend us, please. My prayers go out across the seas. Strategically, our soldier trains. We need to try, must use our brains. They are well armed, we have much less. I am quite scared, I must confess. Vulnerable, what will we do? It's not easy to be a Jew. For if we lose, could lose our home and then go back to have to roam. Don't understand why they hate so. We need our home, somewhere to go. Throughout history, people have tried to destroy us, wish we all died. But every time we have come back, can we again from this attack? Why cannot they just let us live? Tikkun olam, we want to give. We're not trying to hurt a soul. Doing mitzvot, that is our goal. We want to help the world heal. Arab cousins, why don't you feel? From Abraham we both descend. Can't you try to be a friend? We're related, do not you see? We're flesh and blood, both you and me. We can each live a different way. So what if we differently pray? Brother need not to be the same. Why bully us? It is a shame. With my brother, I don't agree, but we can live still peacefully. Let's get along. Don't want to fight. attacking us just isn't right. And of all days to start this war so horrible on Yom Kippur, today is our most holy day. We were in shul trying to pray, saying our prayers, trying to fast, reflecting on each of our past. And will someday you reflect back on this here day, your cruel attack? Will you please think? Will you realize? Open your hearts. Open your eyes. The Yom Kippur War of my childhood clearly affected me. As I noted then in my poem, it was but a year since the horror at the 1972 Olympics, the Munich massacre. That too heavily affected me. As a little, almost 7-year-old, I had been so excited, so enthusiastic about watching the Olympics. I loved the idea, as had been my understanding then, that all these different countries, despite all their differences, different political systems, different economic systems, different religions, despite all their differences, they were putting down their weapons and picking up balls and other sports equipment to play games together. That had been this little 7-year-old's understanding then. But then I heard the news, and I was devastated. Devastated like I was a year later on Yom Kippur. Devastated as I have been at other times. And devastated as I am very much again now. Man's inhumanity to man is devastating. Such barbarism is devastating. Such serious events so struck me. The first real poem I ever wrote was what I wrote to then express myself way back as an almost 7-year-old in 1972. Again, quite relevant here, and thus I will here share that poem as well. Innocence Lost, How Will You Live Today? By Andy Mars, 11 days before turning 7 years old, written in reaction to the Munich Olympics massacre of September 5th, 1972. Cause of what just happened, my innocence is lost. I have been awakened. It's time to pay the cost. After hearing the news, I'll never be the same, that we allow such hate. We should be filled with shame. I am only 7, but I am not a fool. I know there's an answer, and love should be the rule. Everyone is different. That's just the world's way, not to judge each other because of how we pray. It's like each of us is a jigsaw puzzle piece. The picture's completeness without one would just cease. I am not my sister. My brother is not me. I should just be able to be me as I see. We are all related if we go that far back. Having some differences does not mean to attack. Members of a family, while each can be unique, still can come together if love is what they seek. Kids on a single team have different roles to play. Together having fun, no need to fight, do they? I don't have any friend who's like me deep inside. Still, we can get along. I should not need to hide. Sometimes I feel alone. Wish someone understood. But I keep on living, just trying to be good. I wish others would too, using their hearts and minds. But I see that the world is filled with different kinds. I see those that I know simply for who they are. Sometimes I stay with them, and sometimes I go far. When we do disagree, if we want, we can talk. If about to argue, then away we can walk. Let's respect each other. There's no excuse to fight. Just because you defeat me does not mean that you're right. Oh, my mind is spinning, thinking of many things. Such active mind and heart, more truth maybe it brings. It's like I was asleep, just living in a dream. But all dreams must end, no matter how they seem. In my heart, dreams will stay, but I now see what's real. We need to use our hearts. We need to better feel. We may all be different, yet still we're all the same. Same blood flowing inside, no matter what some claim. We must stop our hating. Let's use both mind and heart. We must come together and not be so apart. Eden is not now here, but the future is clay. What is deep in your heart? How will you live today? Yes, these events heavily affected me. They played a role in shaping who I am. They played a role in shaping how I saw the world. They played a role in shaping how I saw my role, what I thought should be all of our roles in this world. There were critical events. These were critical events in my childhood. And here we are again. I would have thought, I did think. I certainly strived and still strive. And I certainly prayed and still pray that we would be well beyond such barbarism by now. I wrote quite a number of poems when I was a kid, and there seemed to be a common theme. I was looking at the world, trying to understand the world, and trying to figure out how we should live in this world. Here is another poem. This one I wrote when I was 10, right after lighting a Holocaust memorial candle on Yom HaShoah on April 27th, 1976. This one's entitled, For Whom She Burns, by Andy Mars, age 10, written after lighting a Holocaust memorial candle on Yom HaShoah on April 27th, 1976. Out of the candle comes the flame. For whom she burns, I have no name. The wax is melting down the side. What is it she's trying to hide? When she's done burning, what is left? Guilty of such a tragic theft. The flames burn on, yet life goes on. Why must we just accept this calm? How can we not have more concern? What can we do to slow the burn? If we can stop it, I do doubt, but wish that we could put it out. The flame consumes us one and all. It will be our tragic downfall. Flames forever burn in our hearts. Must remember and do our parts. It makes me, oh, so want to frown. I hate watching the flame go down. The time for burning must now end. We can no longer just pretend. As oxygen just goes away, life dissipates here as I pray. Think of the names we've never known. We must think more than of our own. Out of the candle comes the flame. For whom she burns, I have no name. We did, and quite disturbingly, apparently still do, live in quite a troubled world. It's hard to understand what goes on in other people's heads and in other people's hearts. It seemed to me when I was a child, and it still seems to me now as an adult, that there is a difference between right and wrong. This situation now does well seem to be a matter of right and wrong. It seems to be a matter of good and evil. And we need to stand up against evil and stand up for good. We need to stand up against wrong and stand up for right. The emotions and how we feel about this are important. But even more important than the emotions here, there is the difference between evil and good. There is the difference between wrong and right. Some things are clearly right. Some things are clearly wrong. If you say something enough times, people may start believing it, but that does not make it true. And right and wrong are not right and wrong just because of what any of us want to believe. Right and wrong exists beyond any of us. And on that vein, here's one more poem that I wrote back in 1977 when I was 12, simply entitled Right by Andy Mars, written 12 years old during winter vacation in December of 1977. It seems that people much want to be right, even when they're wrong. They'll defend and fight. Sometimes I ignore and let them be wrong. But sometimes the truth, it is just too strong. How can I just sit, not try to correct? But they don't listen and wrongly reject. I know I don't know every little thing, but I should still share and bring what I bring. I can't just accept, can't just go along, for what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. When you're mistaken, no need to pretend. Try to learn better, not fight to defend. It's really okay. In fact, it is good to open your mind and learn what you could. The problem here, though, is priority. What's most important that leads you to be? I think number one should be what is true. That's what should lead us to do what we do. But from what I see, just want to be right, that is what leads most to fight as they fight. It's wrong to be right if your right is wrong. What's right's beyond us, for truth it is strong. You do have the right to be wrong. But if that's your goal, it won't last for long. We would not conflict. We would not have fought if finding real truth was that which we sought. My goal is not me. My goal is not you. My goal is what's right, and that's what I'll do. I could go on and share more and more poems. I do have plenty of them. But I think this is enough for now. I think in some ways, I was better able to express my deep thoughts and feelings, my pure thoughts and feelings back when I was a kid. But now, perhaps I better realize that sometimes no words can suffice to address the realities of the world. But with words we do thus try, and the three words upon which I will focus and end right now are Baruch